Anyone who does not follow those health guidelines is in violation of a public health order. They were after a man who was wanted for violating his parole. Just a really tough day. Just saw an Ogden police officer and we were all sharing our condolences with him, and you could tell he was getting choked up. Someone who's facing an animal cruelty charge in Utah may end up going to jail no days at all or up to 5 years. If you're feeling stressed, just walk around to Willa County. You might find one of these guys to help you out. I have been up there close, right in front of where the police officers are and where the protesters are. Things have gotten intense downtown. A police car was turned over. People started jumping on it, smashing it. It was smoking at one point. 5 people shot in total. 4 people were killed. 1 person is in the hospital. It's hard to imagine what these family members are going through as they're passing out missing posters with their daughters' faces on it. An employee named Victoria Flores says in this lawsuit that her job here at Built Bar caused her immunocompromised daughter, and her roommate all to get sick. About 70% of inmates who go through this program end up getting hired on and are less likely to end up going back to jail. Many parents that I spoke with today tell me that they're actually happy with online school and may never send their kids back in person.
Everything looks like the devil just said, everything, the whole world on fire.
Flames.
I was here when the whole thing came down.
Engulfing everything in its path.
Nothing left in a matter of minutes.
Turning what once were homes, cars, and an apartment complex
The whole block was on fire.
to piles of ashes and scorched remains.
My family home, and now nothing left of it. All my stuff was in there. It's all gone. I have nothing no more.
The Gallegos family home,
I don't wish it on anybody.
gone.
Unbearable to see everything you worked for just go down the drain.
As they hold back tears,
It's gonna be all right.
they think of what once was.
And I struggled on my lifetime trying to build a home for him. And now it's all gone.
A home left in the fire's path,
It hurted it a lot.
leaving this family wondering how they will go on.
We weren't born rich or anything, we just barely making it.
We hike to see the view, but right now, on some Utah mountains, the best view comes from inside a Ziploc bag.
I've just always been interested in the message in a bottle.
A message of love on some of the places Brandon Lingwall loves most.
I did it to live vicariously through other people, just because hiking was pretty much my life.
In 1999, Brandon was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, or MS.
I've never been able to teach my son to ride a bike or throw a football or catch a ball or kick a ball or run or...
Last year, he went on hospice care.
If you had asked me a year and a half ago, I would have thought I'm just going to wither and die right here. And then she came along.
Brenna Brooks is Brandon's hospice social worker, formally, but truthfully, she's his beacon of hope.
I never thought I'd go on hospice and it would give me a reason to live.
Their friendship has changed both their lives.
A lot of people will ask, like, how can you do that job? It's such a sad and hard job, but it's people like Brandon that remind you how lucky it is to be able to witness someone's story.
Brandon's story isn't over. These letters are proof of that.
I didn't think I would have a huge footprint on this earth after I was diagnosed, and then all of a sudden we came up with this idea and it's got huge.
Brenna helped make this possible, hiking Brandon's message up the mountain.
The opportunity to be Brandon's hands and type out his words, and to be his legs and hike this to a mountain, it was such an honor and such a privilege.
The message is simple. Read it, take a picture, and send it to Brandon, telling him how it impacted you. and the messages just keep on coming.
Oh yeah, I forget about MS when after somebody finds it, and every time my phone dings off a notification, I'm so excited to get to it.
Well, Brandon's view is coming from a photo. It's the most beautiful one he's ever seen because it's spreading the most important thing of all, love.
With the time you have left, hug everybody you know every day.
When you think of a jail cell, you likely picture this, but it's not where you'll find all the inmates at the Utah County Jail.
We're not just locked in the normal jail.
Instead, you'll find about 10% of the jail's population and the Jail Industries Program.
Gives me a chance to learn new skills.
Beyond living in this nicer area, they also get to work in places like the Wasatch Window Well Factory.
I like to work.
From welding to steaming, these inmates are given a chance.
It's a pretty unique opportunity to be able to create opportunities for other people, and that was pretty appealing to us.
The inmates are paid for their work.
I have a chunk of money that I'm released with that I can help get into a place, get my license back, things like that.
Just giving me opportunity to change my life around and have money and be able to be successful when I get out.
Several studies show those who are employed after being incarcerated are less likely to reoffend.
When they get out, they're far less desperate than they would be had they not had that opportunity. And when their desperation level goes up, their chances of doing something they wouldn't otherwise do or turning back to drugs or their old friends increase.
Sergeant Chris Sansbury says employers constantly tell him how productive the inmates are.
It's interesting to see inmates that come through given an opportunity and how well they excel in doing it.
These guys may just end up working here without the supervision.
I would hire any one of these guys, in a heartbeat.
Providing an opportunity to better the inmates' chances of never landing in a jail cell again.
It's liberating to know that I can actually get out and have things that I wouldn't otherwise have.
There's a story behind every picture.
Every picture we look at, she's hugging somebody. She's got her arms around somebody.
These are the moments that made up 19-year-old Gwen Doner's life.
But that laugh is in every picture.
The sound of her laugh is one her Uncle Brian,
Her laughter, I mean, is just
can't seem to get out of his head.
a firework. That's exactly how you describe it, like a firework. It just shoots out in every direction.
It's a laugh he'll never get to hear again.
We keep replaying the odds over and over again. What's the odds of, in that moment, you're the one on the interstate at that spot, and or the highway or wherever it was, and it's too hard to believe.
Gwen was killed by a wrong-way driver on I-215 Monday night.
That's a mom, that's a dad, it's brothers and sisters hearing that message, grandmas, uncles and cousins. It's just, worst moment ever.
Gwen's life was just starting. Last week, she rented her first apartment and was in school to be a massage therapist and holistic healer.
And that just takes you to your knees, knowing that that's where we knew she was starting, not going. So that's what takes you to your knees.
Even at the end, her uncle says she was fearless. She never let anyone define her.
We're doing her test and realized that the flow of oxygen and blood to her brain was gone. Their comment was, but man, is her heart still strong? And that's so fearless. I mean, brave, willing to take anything head on.
Now her heart will beat on in someone else's chest. Even at 19, she was a registered organ donor.
People were unseen. She would make sure that someone came over and saw them.
Young teenager.
These photos, the balloons, the words of goodbye and sorrow are the stories of her life as everyone says goodbye.